Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Leader Focus, we're bringing you a chat with Kushal Agarwal, founder of Gift Xoxo, and Pranay Punjabi, founder of Theo Creations, on this gifting segment. Do take a look. Kushal, Pranay, thank you all both very much for being with us here tonight to talk about the gifting market, to talk about the festive season, the demand that we're likely to see from the festive season, and also I will come to you later on corporate gifting. Let's start though by talking about the fact that we're in the midst of the festive season, in the midst, of course, of the wedding season as well. It's the year end, so this is going to be the busiest period for any entrepreneur who's in this segment. From your own experience, I want the two of you to talk about how you ensure that you are able to meet the demand, and perhaps what role technology plays in being able to understand the demand and meet it.
Sure. So to start with, gifting industry is something which is rapidly changing. So previously, if you have seen in weddings and festive season, people used to gift idols. Which can be worshipped. So it can be a Ganesh idol for, let's say, for the Hindus. It may be a Buddha for a neutralist type of scenarios. Over a period of time, it is been getting changed from these utensils and these idols to more of some electronic gadgets. Then there's a trend which we have seen, which is changing from electronic gadgets to gift vouchers. So trends are changing, and people have started realizing that the product gifting is something which is in, but it has to move towards more of an experiential point of view.
Sure, that's interesting. Is this, the trends that you're talking about, the gifting experiences, is that something that you are seeing in big town India? How's rural India changing when it comes to its preferences?
So, it's highly visible in the metros and the tier 1, tier 2 cities. But yes, in tier 3 and tier 4 cities, we see mithais and chocolates being dominating. So if you see in these type of occasions, companies like Cadbury and Nestle, these guys come up with some sort of festive packaging, some chocolates and some mithais. Ferrero Rocher comes up with some sort of festive packaging
boxes,
for the weddings and a couple of other occasions. So in tier 3 or tier 4 cities, it will take some time to set the trend. But yes, in the metros, we can see the trends which are changing quite quite well.
Okay. You specialize in corporate gifting.
That's right.
Talk to our viewers, the MSMEs who are watching our show, about if they're looking at breaking into this niche.
Right.
How have you broken into it? What should they keep in mind?
So basically, I started 5 years ago in 2012 out of my own room in my own house. So you don't really need an investment. The barriers of entry are very low in corporate gifting, but you need to know what you want to specialize in. Like, we specialize in tech, because I think that's what the consumer wants these days.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
you had some questions and some insights on this.
So I want to ask him, what do you think the trend in gifting is these days? Do you think it's more of the conventional gifting, still with the mithais and all, as you were talking about, or do you think it's changing?
So gifting can happen in 2 ways. If you want to talk about how these markets are organized, I would say the corporate gifting market is a little more organized than the personal gifting. Because in personal gifting, if you see, people still like to gift that mithais and chocolates, because they are commonly and very easily available. But when you talk about the corporate gifting, there is a scope of negotiation which happens with the admin managers of different companies, where you suggest them a couple of options, and then basis that they select as per their brand values, and then they kind of give it. So yes, the trends are changing, and this gifting industry is an industry of innovation. Every time you see some of the new things coming up.
True.
And yes, it's a very golden period for kind of people to explore new options, and they kind of gift.
Okay.
Is pricing very dynamic in this industry? How does it work?
You buy a Cadbury chocolate, It's at, let's say, 20-25 bucks. The same chocolate is being packaged in a nice format and is sold at 300 or 400 rupees, right? I somehow feel gifting is all about packaging, nice packaging, and because you are making someone feel special. And if your packaging is not nice, then it would not give that feel of a gift, basically. So gift in India is considered as a gift when it is given in hand, something in hand, and it has to be in a presentable format.
Okay, you had something on GST. How's GST changing our industry?
Actually, GST has been the most beneficial to us because if you're aware, earlier there was VAT, there was CST, there was CFOM, there was octroi, there was excise duty, which made business very hard for interstate. If I had clients in Maharashtra, because I'm Mumbai based, no problem. But if I have a client anywhere else, it was too much paperwork. So all that has gone away. Service-based industries used to hesitate to pay VAT because we are goods-based industry. Now everything has come together, so everyone is happily paying taxes.
I think you're one industry that is actually happy in terms of the introduction of GST.
We are extremely happy.
So there are two aspects to it in the GST as well. So as he is in the product as a gift, so we make awesome experiences and that can be gifted to people. So there is a dairy farm who can probably give you an experience like milking a cow. Or there can be a flying school who is hosting an experience, saying, let's say, a helicopter ride, a joy ride. Or there can be a restaurant who is making you learn how to make pizzas, wood fire pizzas, and you dine with the master chef. So these experiences are something which are quite new and trendy. But how we do business is we treat all these experiences at some market price. So the hosts, the local hosts who are selling these experiences, they cap an experience at a market price, and we work on the commission which they give it to us, and we pay tax on the commission, basically. So now we are standardizing the GST to 18% on the commissions.
We've run out of time, but you were saying something interesting earlier, that the entry barrier to this industry is very low. As an entrepreneur, is that a good thing or is that bad?
As we said before, it's a very unorganized sector. Too many small players. There's small money to be made for everyone, but there's the entry in the bigger players is very high because there's a lot of investment, a lot of big clients. But yes, corporate gifting is an industry which most people can do without a big investment in it.
So how do you go from being that small player to being someone with a little bit of size?
So we started this concept in the year of 2014. And we took around 6 months to kind of do an R&D, and eventually we realized that experience is something which is picking up. People, if you see the trend, I mean, you can actually follow a couple of trends, like you used to travel by Volvo buses. So 10 years back, it was more of a luxury. 10 years later, introduction of the Volvo buses, it has become a need, basically, right? On a similar format, your parents, your family members, everyone wants to put something unique and different in Facebook, right? The trends are changing. Okay. No one is...
so trends are changing, definitely. Then the demand and the companies which are servicing them is definitely changing, and there's a market for everyone then. All right. Gentlemen, thank you both very much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you.